Mr. Trump said something on the campaign trail because he does paint, especially in the black community, a very, very bleak economy. In fact, this is what he said in Toledo, Ohio just yesterday. Let's listen.
We're going to work on our ghettos are in so that you take a look at what's going on where you have pockets of areas of land where you have the inner cities and you have so many things, so many problems, so many horrible problems.
So, Katrina, you heard Mr. Trump there say ghettos in black communities, and I think that many black Americans would say you're not really taking into account the whole of the black population.
Well, I think there's also a segment of the black community who has been consulting Mr. Trump on this issue who would disagree with you, because there are severely depressed and suppressed communities out there. But what we're not addressing still is the Federal Reserve's impact into this economy. And if we're talking about a 3,000 to 4,000 wage increase among the working class, which has completely been wiped out by Obamacare premiums, not to mention Hillary Clinton wants to raise taxes. This does not look good for the middle class.
So can I just respond to this really quickly,
Sure.
Carol? I think it's really important that when we have conversations like this, they're rooted in facts. So let's talk about what Donald Trump could actually be saying to black people that would resonate and be based in truth. So there's an access to capital issue. People like Donald Trump take advantage of the fact that, no, that's not what you said at all. But people like Donald Trump, I know you don't want to hear this because the truth burns, but people like Donald Trump actually take for granted the fact that they have readily available access to capital. People in my community oftentimes don't. But let's talk about the ghetto. Because Donald Trump, as we know, is a real estate developer that has taken advantage of things like gentrification. That's how he ended up keeping people out of neighborhoods where they could actually earn more income, Katrina. That's an issue that he should be addressing.
Well, he actually has addressed that, Angela.
No,
because facts do matter. Mr. Trump has also talked about the issue with borrowing in the black community.
Let Katrina
Mr.
respond.
Trump has addressed, if you've listened to anything he has said about the black community or his urban development, he's talked about the problems that we have with black Americans being able to access capital. And you can go back to when he testified before Congress on how to fix the economy. He talked about having more affordable housing for minority communities, and he's worked with Jesse Jackson and the Rainbow Push Coalition to help black entrepreneurship. Those are the facts you never see on CNN, Angela.
Angela is a former, she was with the Congressional Black Caucus, so is that true?
And ran it into the ground.
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
And ran it into the ground.
I ran the CBC into the ground?
Absolutely.
That is laughable. That is laughable.
You're not aware of Mr. Trump's
Katrina.
All the way back to
because wait, stop. Katrina, what are you talking about?
Ridiculous.
What are you talking about that Angela ran the Congressional Black Caucus?
I'm eager to hear this. What did I do?
The record is out there. Look at where the finances were, and so I think it's interesting.
Oh, I'm sorry, honey. Katrina.
We're having an economic discussion, but we don't want to talk about the actual facts of Mr. Trump's policies when it comes to urban communities.
Carol, can I please respond to the personal attack at this point? So let me just
okay,
help you.
Stop. So, okay, Angela has to respond to these charges.
Of course she does. If she's going to call me a liar, then of course, let's have a personal discussion, because I'm tired of coming on CNN and completely having Mr. Trump's policies lied about consistently, because he has addressed every last one of these issues, which is why his support in the black community is on the rise.
Okay, good luck with that lie as well. Now let me respond to what you're direct. Yeah, you're right. See, because you're lying. So the criticism about the Congressional Black Caucus, we actually had a very successful run with the Congressional Black Caucus. Perhaps you heard about the Jobs Initiative, where we went into communities of color to ensure at that point, when the black unemployment rate was double the national average and higher than it had been in years, we worked on that. We went to 5 cities in urban areas to address unemployment specifically. After that Jobs Initiative, we provided 9 recommendations to the Obama administration that then manifested themselves in the American Jobs Act. You want to talk about what happened with black unemployment? Your Republican Congress chose not to address jobs, chose not to consider those jobs recommendations, that American Jobs Bill. That is what happened there. Now, in terms of finances, running finances into the ground, you want to talk about congressional member organizations' budgets? I give you Newt Gingrich, one of your other surrogates. Long before I was even in elementary school, dear, Newt Gingrich snatched congressional member organizations' budgets. The CBC never had a budget, so I don't know which organization you're talking about. Perhaps perhaps you should get your facts together, because we had a budget that was run by member representational allowances. That there was no money management there. Now, going back to the economy, because that's what this was about, you're still wrong.
I'm going to stop this now. This is veered in a direction I never expected.
It was crazy. Like, what are you talking about? That's slander. I can sue you, Katrina.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Okay, so
I would make one final point to bring us back to where we began, Carol, if I could. And everyone, you're welcome. The point I would make is that we've been in 7 years of an economic expansion, and it hasn't felt like it because we were so afraid about what happened to us in 2008, 2009, right? We really couldn't believe the economy was moving forward, but it was. But it won't move forward forever because the economy goes in cycles of ups and downs, and we're overdue for the economy to falter. So your vote on Election Day is, who do you think has the policies to cushion you when the economy inevitably falters again? The jobs plan, the energy plans, tax plans, education plans. So insults aside, we need to really soul search about who do you think is going to be able to lead the economy, because it will have a pullback eventually.
Thank you, Christine, for injecting sanity into this segment.